Hello, my lovely listeners. Welcome to the podcast, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name's Lexi. I will be your host today. I hope everyone's week is going great so far. I know most people are on spring break, so I hope y'all are enjoying that, making the most of it. I know if I was still in high school or if I had went to college, I definitely would be. So definitely take advantage of that because you're not going to have that forever. So make the most of it. I'm having a great week so far. I'm a little bit of a mess, like mentally, honestly, but like physically, I guess, like on, here, I'm doing great. I just got a new car, actually. Her name's Sandy. She's a 2024 Toyota Camry, and I'm absolutely in love with her. I honestly didn't really want a new car. I didn't want a car payment, but my 2014 Hyundai Sonata needed to go. It was time. I've had her for about almost going on to 6 years. No, it's definitely been 6 years. Going on to 7 years. So it was time. She needed to go. She's had lots and lots of problems. So she was just ready to take a break, at least especially from me. I was done with her, and I think she was done with me too. So we took her to the dealership, traded her in, and went home with my car that I have now. And I'm so happy, so blessed, so grateful that I'm able to actually do that for myself. But I'm very excited for this week's episode, and I hope y'all are too. I've again kind of been a little all over the place, so I'm honestly anxious to record this, especially since I am doing this on camera too. You will be able to watch this on YouTube, like an actual video. If you would like to do that, you can go do that. But I am very anxious because I'm again kind of mentally not really there. I've had a headache the past few days and just physically haven't been feeling my best. But we're gonna try to do this, okay? I tried to record this a few minutes ago and I actually was doing good, which is why this really sucks because it got unplugged and my whole audio got cut off by my cat. And I just decided to re-record the whole thing because, maybe this was how it was supposed to be. I'm just trying to look at it that way. It's okay that my audio had gotten messed up, that we can re-record it. It's all right. It's not the end of the world. I'm trying to roll with the punches of the day. But I'm very excited, very, very excited for this week's topic because the topic is actually comparison kills. And I'm very passionate about this topic because I have spent most of my life comparing to others. And even now, I constantly compare myself to others. Like with this podcast, I listen to people who have podcasts and I'm constantly comparing my amount of listeners to their amount of listeners, which should not matter, and it ultimately doesn't in all reality, but it does kind of weigh on me mentally sometimes, although it shouldn't, because again, we should not compare ourselves to others. But also as far as like looks wise goes, like I've never been really one to have like big ass and titties. Yes, I know I don't really want to talk about this, but never really been like the more feminine woman, I guess. So I've always been kind of envious of that. Just there's lots of areas that I struggle with comparison, and I know that you probably do too. So I'm just here to tell you that it's normal. It's okay. But comparison does kill, babe, okay? Because I have found myself in the lowest parts of my life when I'm comparing myself to others. And ultimately, like, you don't even realize you're doing it sometimes, but it happens, okay? So we're just going to talk a little bit about that. For starters, comparison leads to dissatisfaction. I'm sure we all know that. I kind of just touched on that a little bit, but when you compare yourself to others, you are putting them on a pedestal in some sort, in a way. You're making them a god, and you're basically saying that their life is better and your life is shit. That all the things that you have in your life aren't as good as all the things that person has in their life, which is not true at all. I'm sure that person has plenty of things they struggle with as well that they're envious that other people don't struggle with. It's just, in this generation, I feel like all of us are constantly comparing ourselves to each other, and it really just breaks my heart and soul because we should all be, I don't want to say building each other up, because technically you do build them up when you compare yourself to them. Like say you're comparing yourself to, like for me, okay, I'm just gonna use this for example, Nessa Barrett. Say I'm comparing myself to Nessa Barrett. Okay, there's obviously like, she's amazing, beautiful, so talented, but she also has things she struggles with. She struggles with a lot of mental illness, mental health problems. She talks about it. She speaks on it. She's on medication. Just there's certain things that she deals with personally that I wouldn't necessarily want to deal with, and vice versa. Like, I'm sure there's things I deal with that she wouldn't want to deal with. Just, we need to stop comparing, okay? Because there's just, we all are so beautiful and wonderfully made in our own way that, like, it just doesn't make any sense for us to compare ourselves to each other, because I have things that I'm meant to do in my life, whereas other people aren't meant to, vice versa. And as far as college goes, job opportunities goes, families goes, kids, your spouse, just everything. We're just constantly comparing when we really shouldn't. And I don't know. I don't even know how to, like, get this across the way I want to. I feel like that's really why I've been struggling trying to record this episode. But I just feel like it leads us to taking the things we do have for granted. Because I have 3 beautiful, amazing animals that I love. I have an amazing sister that I love, and a mom and grandma that love and support me in everything I do. Just, we need to more so focus on the things we do have instead of the things we think we're lacking. When all reality, we're not lacking those things. Maybe we're just not meant to have them yet, or maybe it's just not meant for us at all. But that's the beautiful thing of life, is it's full of decisions, and we're going to make right ones, we're going to make wrong ones, and sometimes you might think you're making the wrong one, but you're making the right one. Just, it's all about trusting your intuition and doing what makes you happy, being your authentic self, instead of trying to live like others, I guess. This is so hard for me to get across, if you can tell. But the way you live your life is never going to look like someone else's, and I've said it multiple times, that's exactly how it's supposed to be. If we were all the same, it would be fucking boring, okay? The people you watch on TikTok, like, I'm sure you have 3 people you can think of off the top of your head that you're like, oh my god, I love them. They are all different in each and every way you love them, I bet. Because, like, we'll use my people, for example, okay? We're just gonna come up with people off the top of my head. Tara Yummy, I love her. She's carefree, doesn't give a shit, does whatever she wants, and is just ultimately iconic. The twins, the 3 twins, the triplets, whatever the name is, I love them because they're funny, okay? And then Nessa Barrett, I love her because simply her music's amazing and she's beautiful. Like, you're going to love people for different reasons, just as you're going to compare yourself to people for different reasons. But little do you know, there's probably people comparing themselves to you because you're either funny or you're beautiful or you have a nice body. And vice versa. Just, the shit really drives me crazy, if you can't tell. And I really can't even put into words, like, how to not do this, because I still do it, and I'm not even trying to make that what this episode is about, is how to not compare yourself. Because, I mean, shit, if y'all know, please let me know, because I sure as hell don't. But it's more so to get us in the mindset of how, if we do keep this up, it will ultimately lead us to dissatisfaction or living a life that is not what's gonna make us happy. Because if I were to compare myself to, okay, for example, lots of people I'm graduating with are having kids. I mean, lots. Having kids, getting married. And sometimes I feel down because I'm like, okay, I'm behind. I'm single. I'm not even going to have kids anytime soon because I don't have a partner that I could possibly be my spouse. And also, do we even want kids? Like, there's just, I get envious sometimes of these things, but in all reality, right now, that's not what I want. So why am I jealous? I don't know, but I am. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're constantly comparing ourselves to things when that's not even what we want most of the time. It's just sometimes we think that the light's brighter, like the grass is greener on the other side, when we haven't even seen the grass. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't even been over there to see if it is, you know? So you don't really know till you're in that position, but do you want to be in that position is the real question. Because ultimately, we all think we're doing it wrong all the time. I know Some days I wake up and I'm like, I have everything figured out. I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. I'm living exactly how I'm supposed to. And then other days I have a complete identity crisis and I want to restart everything. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna ditch everything, get an RV or a trailer, whatever, and just go in the middle of the woods and grow my own crops and be a nomad and do whatever. And then another part of me is like, no, I want to travel the world and live on an RV. And then the other part of me is like, no, I want a family. Like, but how will I ever know what I want if I'm constantly comparing to other people? You know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. I don't even know what I mean, if I'm completely honest. Like, I'm just rambling. That was really the whole plan of this episode. My outline is a fucking mess. It's really not even an outline. It's just a bunch of words on paper that I threw down when I was thinking of what I wanted to talk about, and I just wrote down a bunch of random shits. What the fuck ever. Anyway, but one point I really did want to make is I think we all forget sometimes that we do put our best out on social media. Like, social media isn't going to see us crying. They're not going to see us fighting with our partner. They're not going to see they're just not going to see any of the bad stuff, you know. They're always going to see the good stuff. So when we're scrolling and we're seeing everyone out on a Friday night and like we're in our bed, we shouldn't necessarily be jealous, because in all reality, are they having that much fun? I bet you they're not going to be having fun the next day. And me personally, because I know I do the same thing, I don't really want to be doing that anyway, and I don't want to be hungover the next day. That's not what I want to do. I don't enjoy going out. Just like I'm going to keep saying, just we need to separate fantasy versus reality sometimes, and remember that what we see on social media is not real. It's not real at all. Everything's either photoshopped or it's the highlight of our lives. Like, it's never going to be the bad stuff, because who wants to share the bad stuff? I know I don't necessarily all the time, but those are also my favorite people to listen to, is the people that do share the bad stuff. That's weird, honestly, kind of weird. But we don't necessarily want to put that out there. We want everyone to think we have it all put together, okay? So when you go online and you see that everyone has it all put together, I'm doing air quotes if you're watching the video, that everyone has it all put together, I promise you they don't. They're just as much as a mess as you, most likely, and they have their own struggles in their own way. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. But I just know it can be hard sometimes, because we see others achieve things that sometimes we're envious of and we want ourselves, and we just feel like we're behind. But I put some points down of like things that I know I have felt personally behind in, that I feel like maybe others could relate to. And for example, kids in marriage. It's maybe just not your time yet. I know me personally, I don't have a boyfriend, and that's okay. I love being alone right now, and again, I have people that are my age that are married and having children, and that's perfect for them. But for me personally, just I think right now I need to be alone, and that's what I'm doing. And when my person does come, I'll be ready for them. And until then, I'm just gonna kind of let life flow. I'm not really gonna try to force anything or compare my lonely life to someone's taken life where they're all happy and bubbly and in love. You know, that's not fair to me, because in all reality, that's not necessarily what I'm aiming for right now. You know what I mean? And as far as entertainment and social media goes, like me personally, I've been posting a lot more. I have this podcast. I would really love to be doing something in the entertainment industry, but sometimes I feel like I can't, because I'm 21 and I feel like I'm behind. But did y'all hear what I said? I'm 21 and I feel like I'm behind. Like, I wanted to use this example. I don't know if y'all watched the Country Music Awards, but Jelly Roll, he's 39 years old and just won brand new artist. Just one brand new artist at 39 years old. That's freaking crazy. He's literally almost 40, and he won best new artist. Like, he did not let time hold him back. He didn't ever let him thinking that he was behind hold him back, or everyone's doubts. He kept pushing and perfecting his craft to get to where he wanted to be, and guess what? He got to where the fuck he wanted to be when he was meant to be there. Do you know what I mean? Like, life is going to fall into place how it's meant to be. You just have to simply do your shit and not compare yourself to others or try to be others. And I'm gonna keep saying that, okay? I'm gonna keep saying it. And then another example is relationships. Like I said, love is not on a time clock, okay? You could literally meet the love of your life at the age of 13, and you could also meet the love of your life at the age of 35. Like, there's no age that you meet your perfect person, okay? It's different for every single person, and that's honestly what makes this life so beautiful and amazing, is that all of our journeys are different, and we're all meant to live different, authentic lives. And yeah, that's really it. And then acceptance, like I've said, life is not a competition, okay? I feel like we all have a hard time making it into a competition when it's not. And I feel like I truly do blame social media a little bit for that, because again, we're always putting our best out there, and we're constantly seeing like these great things that people are doing, when we shouldn't necessarily be upset about those things. We should be happy for that person, and if anything, have it push us to be better for ourselves, but never bring ourselves down because we don't feel like we're good enough because we haven't reached that ourselves. Like I said, life is not on a clock. It's on your time, okay? You get to choose how to live, what decisions to make, just everything, okay? Stop comparing. Stop freaking comparing. Because my definition of success is not going to look the same as other people's definition of success. Vice versa. Just as long as you're happy and fulfilled, that's the ultimate goal, okay? I just want every single one of you to be happy and do what makes you happy, and just don't compare yourself to others, please, okay? I have a quote that I really wanted to share, if I can find it. But I know one thing before I do say that. One thing I did want to say is, guys, I don't know if y'all have ever watched Friends, but when they first recorded Friends, I believe they're all at the age of like 23, 24, something around there. And none of them have anything figured out, if you've ever watched Friends. Like the first, I mean, they don't really have it figured out at all throughout the whole thing. But like, they're all a mess in season 1, right? They're all still trying to figure out what they want to do career wise. None of them are married. Most of them are single, you know, just until the last season when they're like in their 30s. They are a freaking hot mess. And I think that's why I love Friends so much, and it brings me so much comfort, is because it reminds me that it's okay to not have everything figured out right now. Like, I feel like, especially since we are all forced to, you know, leave high school at the age of 18, and most of us choose to go to college because that just seems like the right thing to do, and I feel like it's very secure to go to college. I feel like there's less stress when it comes to jobs, I guess, because with a degree, obviously, you do have a lot more financial security, but just, I don't know, I feel like there's just so much pressure on young people to have it all figured out by the time we're 18, to where we want to know what we want to do with their lives. When, guys, I don't have anything figured out, and I change my mind every other day about what I want to do, and that's completely fine, because I'm eventually going to find what truly makes me happy, and what I want to do, and what my passion is, and I know what my passion is, but what my calling is, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, because I don't believe I was put on this earth to compare my life to other people and to be exactly like other people. I was put here to be me and do what makes me happy and shine my light on the world in however I find is right. And I think we all just need to do that. We all need to stop focusing so much on doing the right thing, or on, you know, not doing the wrong thing, and just do what makes us happy and follow your heart and what feels right to you. Because again, what's right to you isn't going to be right to other people, and that's completely fine. That's okay. It's not meant to be. And yeah, it's kind of going to be a shorter episode this week. My camera did just die, so you're not going to be able to see the end of the episode on YouTube. I might be able to transfer the ending of the audio into just like the photo, but I really just want y'all to leave with this one thing, which is the quote that I was trying to find and still have not been able to. I thought I was going to be able to ramble in enough time, but it's a quote that says, "Someone graduated at 21 but waited 15 years to get that job. Someone had no education but was a millionaire at 25. Someone got married at 25 but got divorced 5 years later. Someone got married at 40 and found everlasting love. You're not late, you're not early, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Trust the timing. I don't know who you believe in. I don't know if you believe in God from the Bible. I don't know if you're just one with the universe. I don't know. But trust that everything is meant to happen for a reason, okay? Even the bad things. I know they suck. And it doesn't make it easier to know that everything happens for a reason. But you were put on this earth for a reason to live these experiences how you want to, okay? And just don't ever compare your journey to someone else's, okay? Because your journey is beautiful and wonderful in its own way. And you can't be someone else. So please, for the love of God, stop trying to be, okay? Because I know I struggle with it. But that, again, ultimately leads to just being disappointed and not appreciating the amazing things you do have in your life. Like my baby Willow is looking at me right now. I love her oh so much. And I don't know. I just wouldn't want my life any other way. I know that I've definitely had ups and downs and times where I've been like, you know what, I feel like if I was someone else or if I would have done this, that life would be better. But that's not the truth. I've done what I've done for reasons. I've also been put in the positions I have for reasons. And I don't know, I'm just very excited to see what this beautiful life has to bring for me in the many, many years I have in the future. And I'm very excited for y'all as well. But just live it how you want to. And don't ever think that you're behind or you're not living as cool of a life as other people because you're not doing all of these fun things or making as much money as this person. Like, life isn't about how much money you have. It isn't about how many friends you have. It's not about how big your house is. It's simply about doing what sets your fuel on fire and just doing what makes you happy. And I truly believe just making connections with the people you love and just having a positive impact on this world instead of comparing and thinking that everyone else has it figured out and you're lost and that everyone's life is better than yours when it's not, okay? We all have our things that we wish we could change, but we can't, okay? And I mean, if you can change some of the things, if there's things you want to change and you can, then babe, go for it if that's going to make you happy. But never think that living a life like someone else is going to make you happy, because it's not, okay? You're never going to be satisfied if you keep chasing for that title that one person has, or that fame that one person has, or that money they have, okay? It's going to lead you to losing yourself and not even knowing who you are. And that is honestly scarier than thinking you're not enough, I feel like sometimes. I don't know. I'm kind of just rambling at this point. But I hope y'all got something out of this episode. I'm not really sure if you did, if I'm completely honest. But I don't know. It's just something I wanted to talk about. So I hope you were able to. Willow's being ridiculous right now. But I love y'all so much. And I hope the rest of your week goes good. And I will see y'all next week. Let me know what y'all would like to hear in future episodes. And yeah, I love you. Bye. Mwah.